Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I will take 12 minutes only. Today we are commemorating Professor Dr. Sabahattin Zaim, who played a very instrumental role in the development of Islamic economics as a globally recognized academic discipline. And befitting the occasion, I wanted to have my presentation around individuals rather than institutions and policies. And I would like to highlight in this presentation the role of some individuals in developing Islamic banking and finance in my country. And so next 10 to 12 minutes, what I will present will be basically the historical developments in Islamic banking and finance in the UK with a reference to some individuals who have played a pivotal role in the development of this very important sector in the global financial services industry. When we look at the history of Islamic banking in the UK, we actually go back to the 1960s and 70s when a number of investment banks offered bespoke Sharia-compliant solutions to their clients coming from the GCC region. Primarily GCC region, but of course there were some other Sharia-sensitive investors coming from other parts of the world as well. So that is the start of Islamic banking movement, if you allow me to use this word, in the United Kingdom. However, Al-Baraka Bank UK, this entity doesn't exist anymore in the United Kingdom. That was the first bank in the country that offered Islamic banking products in a formal way. So in the 1980s, Al-Baraka Bank UK started offering a property finance product which was in compliance with Sharia, and primarily this product was popular amongst their Arab clients. This was a quite expensive product as compared to other high street property finance products, but given the Sharia sensitivity as an important preference amongst a large number of Arabs, this product was offered by Al-Baraka Bank in the 1980s. But the real impetus to Islamic banking and finance in the United Kingdom came in the 1990s, when one man, Lord Eddie George, he was not a lord at that time, he was governor of the Central Bank of England, he recognized the importance of Islamic banking and finance. And of course in the 90s, a number of other things happened in the country as well, and I will be going into those details shortly. So before I go into the historical development in some detail, the question arises, why a country like the UK, which is not a Muslim country, decided to become a player in Islamic finance? A number of reasons, but I will focus on four. The first one, the authorities somehow perceived that there was a demand for Islamic financial services in the United Kingdom amongst the local Muslim population. There were some enthusiasts who believed that all the Muslims living in United Kingdom, and at that time there were about 1.75 billion Muslims, the number which has increased to over 2 million. So that was number one. The government actually recognized that there was a need to offer Islamic financial services to the Muslim minority. The argument goes in favor of financial inclusion. So a UK government, which is predominantly non-Muslim, but it believed in a financial inclusion model and hence offered Islamic banking and allowed offering of Islamic banking in the country. Then comes the role of the individual players, which played an important role in the development of Islamic banking. In a country like UK, where Muslims are only 3% of total population, without the help of local white population, it was very difficult to develop Islamic banking and finance. The people like Andrew Buxton, who was a former chairman of Barclays Bank, and Richard Thomas, who was at that time with ABC, Arab Banking Corporation, and now he's the CEO of Gatehouse Bank, one of the 4 Islamic investment banks in the country. And of course, the likes of Iqbal Khan, he was at that time CEO of HSBC Amana, and now he runs his own company called Fazil Capital in Dubai. So people like him and other members of what was known as the Bank of England Working Committee on Islamic Banking, these guys played an important role in convincing the authorities to allow Islamic banking in the country. So that's reason number two, the individuals who played an important role in the development of Islamic banking in UK. Then we must not ignore the role played by some academicians. And the academicians continue to play an important role. My friend Mahmoud Asute, he is at the University of Durham, and he is playing a very instrumental role in making sure that Islamic banking and finance is recognized as a viable option for a number of universities in the United Kingdom. So the likes of Professor Simon Archer, who was PhD supervisor of Rifat Abdul Karim, who is very well known in Islamic banking and finance, Rodney Wilson from Durham University, and Professor John Presley. He is so far the only non-Muslim who has got IDP prize in Islamic finance. So these guys played a very instrumental role in creating awareness about Islamic economics, banking and finance in the British academia, which had a kind of trickle-down effect on other sectors as well, including influencing directly the policymakers in the country. And of course, this idea, which was adopted by the UK government, to use Islamic finance as a bridge between the West and the Middle East, i.e. the Muslims. So these four factors actually led the United Kingdom to decide to become an important player in Islamic banking and finance. Historically, 1960s, that is the start of offering of Islamic banking services in a very informal way by the likes of Bresnan, Kleinwort and so on, through their London offices. 1980s was the time when commodity wrapper transactions were started on the London Metal Exchange by Donaday. It's now called DD Capital. So that was, again, an individual comes in our mind when we talk about commodity wrapper transactions. Stella Cox, the machine, played a very, very important role in bringing a liquidity management solution to Islamic financial institutions all over the world. So London played a very, very important role in bringing a mechanism which was required for treasury and liquidity management for Islamic banks and financial institutions. 1990s, Islamic retail banking entered the high street banking in the United Kingdom. So the likes of HSBC, Lloyds, TSB and so on, they became involved in Islamic banking and finance. And of course, the then UBK, United Bank of Kuwait, which is now Ahli United Bank, it started off with Islamic mortgages. And there were some other smaller players offering Islamic banking and finance in the country. So 1990s was the time when Islamic banking became formally known and recognized in the United Kingdom. And since 2000, a full-fledged Islamic banking platform exists in the United Kingdom. You name any product, on retail side, corporate side, investment side, fund management, indices, everything is there in the United Kingdom. I think given this evolution in Islamic banking and finance, the end result, United Kingdom provides a very interesting example of engaging with Islamic banking and finance for the benefit of the country. And of course it has international benefits as well in terms of politics and of course other economic benefits as well. Regulatory developments, I would say that they started in the 1990s. Again, Lord Eddie George. He in 1995, I'm sure Mahmoud was there when he made the speech, he actually recognized formally as the governor of the central bank the importance of Islamic banking in the Muslim world and its emergence on the international stage. And he very clearly said that there was a need to understand Islamic banking to allow Muslims in the United Kingdom to have access to Islamic banking and finance. So that was the start, and then a lot of things happened. Bank of England working capital in Islamic banking, working party on Islamic banking was set up. A number of, as I said, retail banking products were on offer, especially Islamic mortgages. This double stamp duty was a major problem. Hence in 2003, our man, Gordon Brown, who was Chancellor of Exchequer, later became the Prime Minister, he actually abolished the stamp duty in 2003. 2004, the following year, we witnessed the setting up of the first fully-fledged Islamic retail bank in the United Kingdom. 2006, the first Islamic investment bank in the country, following which 3 other banks came into being. So now we have 5 Islamic banks in the United Kingdom, 1 retail, and 4 Islamic investment banks. So it's just a huge, I should say, success story for those countries who would like to develop Islamic banking and finance as a strategic tool for economic development and financial inclusion. The regulation is very simple in the United Kingdom. It's basically FSA, Financial Services Authority, would like to provide a level playing field for Islamic banking lending. Okay. So there is no discrimination. A conventional bank offering Islamic financial services, no problem. A fully fledged Islamic bank offering Islamic financial services, you're most welcome. So taxation regime, this is another thing. Okay. A lot of changes in taxation laws have been brought to make sure that Islamic banks and financial institutions, and of course their products, they are not at a disadvantage. One important thing was this Murabaha-based transactions and the treatment of VAT. This was a very, very sensitive issue in the United Kingdom. In 2000, there was this huge fraud related with VAT, and the government was very sensitive to create any exemption for any institution. But given the need that Murabaha transactions were at a disadvantage, the United Kingdom government came up with VAT treatment, favorable treatment in such a way that a Murabaha transaction would be considered exactly the same as an interest-based loan from taxation viewpoint, as long as the Murabaha transaction is done by a financial institution. So these are very good examples set by the United Kingdom government, and I'm sure that those countries which would like to have a role to play in Islamic banking and finance in future, they can learn a lot from here. There have been, the UK government was very much looking forward to issuing a sovereign sukuk as well. And that would have been the first case of a pound sterling sovereign sukuk. The previous Labour government was all for it, but the new government came into power, the Conservative, and they have their different economic policy. They want to reduce their budget deficit. There is an emphasis on reduction in public sector borrowing, and as a result of that, the issue of sovereign UK sukuk has been delayed, but I'm sure in due time this will happen as well. Just 1 minute on UK and other Islamic financial centers in the wake of financial crisis. You know, before the crisis, everyone was dancing and trying to lure people. Okay, I am a center of excellence for Islamic banking and finance. We had Bahrain, we had UAE, we had even Hong Kong, Singapore, and so many other. Of course, UK was trying to be a global center of excellence for Islamic finance. But financial crisis came, and only one player stood, and that is Malaysia. And my friend Ashraf Dusuki, he has very ably demonstrated the kind of things Malaysia has done over the last few decades. So as a result of this leadership role played by Malaysia, which cannot be challenged, the interest in Islamic banking in UK has gone down. Before the crisis, a number of law firms, consulting firms, they started moving their operations from London to Dubai and other places in the GCC because the money was here. So, and after the crisis, when the financial services activity has gone down, this has actually led to a decrease in activity in Islamic banking and finance in UK. And of course, there are some other smaller reasons as well. Last in the future of Islamic banking and finance in UK, although UK provides an excellent example of good attitude towards Islamic banking and finance, people ask me, oh, so this means the future of Islamic banking in UK is very bright? And I say no, because it's a very small country from Muslim viewpoint. Only about 2 million Muslims, 3% of total population. We cannot say that UK is going to be the sun of Islamic banking and finance. The real bright future of Islamic banking and finance lies in the countries where Muslims are in majority, and Turkey is one of them. If tomorrow you decide to play a strategic role vis-a-vis Islamic banking and finance, Within 10 years, you can become a global center of excellence in Islamic finance. So Malaysia provides a very good example of developments in Islamic banking and finance. But when it comes to future lies with you. If you want to acquire that future and use it in your favor, the market is there for you. So I would say that any country which would like to play a role in Islamic banking and finance, you can look at Britain and you can seek help from British institutions like Norton Rose, the law firms, KPMG and other, so many institutions which have a lot of resources to offer to you when it comes to development of an Islamic financial services industry. Because I'm standing in Turkey and I love Turkey and Turkish people, I would say that I come from Pakistan and we love Turkish people. And I would like to see Turkey to play a lead role in Islamic banking and finance and become a real big global center of Islamic finance.